Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd. And it's time for a review of the new Kid Cudi album, Speedin Bullet to Heaven. Kid Cudi is a rapper, singer, composer, multi-instrumentalist as well, it seems, who had a pretty promising start to his music career, his professional commercial music career, in the previous decade. He was delivering some very moody, introspective hip-hop that not a lot of other rappers were. And while I didn't really go head over heels for his stuff, I thought his follow-up to his debut was kind of mediocre. I was pretty indifferent to it, but at least he wasn't like a generic artist to me. He had a sound, he had a vibe that I could recognize. I completely skipped over Mr. Scott Miss Cudi's next record, Satellite Flight. However, his new record over here, Curiosity, got the best of me because I heard it was a rock record. Actually, the lead singles that were teasing this album, songs like Confused, as well as Wedding Tux, and also Judgmental Cunt. These songs were intriguing to me. I guess it was sort of interesting to see Scott going in another direction. He has an attitude and emotion, and genres like grunge and alternative rock and punk music. Emotion and attitude are the cornerstones of these styles of music. So Cudi might pull through on this one. This is easily the record I've this year. And it's very rare that I define albums in those terms, but there have been some very special albums this year that came out and I had a very strong taste for, but this one takes the cake. The hair cake. The core of the album is 18 tracks long, and if that wasn't enough, Kid Cudi saw fit to add 8 more songs of demos and rehearsal demos. On the last leg of this record, Kid Cudi spends this album, he's like Kurt Cobain. It's like the first part of the album was his successful career, and then he offs himself, and then he spends the rest of the album, he was so great that you needed to hear these demos. Overall, I think is pretty cool. That analog tape definitely brings a nice heaviness and clarity and crispness and punchiness to these guitars and drums. Like on Confused, or Screwed, or Amen. The song Fairy Tale Remains as well. Honestly, I don't even know why I'm listing tracks out. That is basically the musical premise of almost every song here. They are a little more visceral, a little more explosive, so it makes them just enjoyable. Judgmental Cunt. Probably the most diverse and wild track on the entire record because the vocal performances are wild. The guitars are heavy. The drums are punk as hell. Needless to say, the slower songs, the more subtle songs, the ballads on here, tracks like Wedding Tux or the incredibly long song Adventures, which is not only long in and of itself, but it also features this Beavis and Butthead skit at the end of it. Actually, quite a few tracks actually end with a Beavis and Butthead skit. An honest to God appearance from Mike Judge, animator, writer, and voiceover artist. Kids, listen, drugs make you make good music. Just take tons of drugs and then embark on some kind of musical recording adventure because this will happen. And I just kind of wonder how far it can go. And there are other lyrical moments on this record. To go back to this Adventures track, like her vagina is and warm, I'll keep you safe, just hold my arm. And also this one thing I loved, no more chicken sandwiches, yes, I'll pay for the damages. Hell yes. Not going to get too deep into it, but another thing that I have notoriously enjoyed about Kid Cudi's music, once again, the vocals, good singing. Who am I, what you feel complete, this becomes what you want to release as your album. 90 minutes of this. I'm feeling a strong 9 to a 10 on this thing. Hell yes to this album. Hell yes.